during the show.
What up? Welcome to the Layup Game, episode 137. This is the average man's perspective on football. Before we get started, I want to verify something. Come here. Did you just call me or not?
I did just call him.
Say it in the microphone.
I did just call him. I was trying to switch the cars in the driveway.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I don't think we needed all that verification, but it makes you better.
Fly, Eagles, fly, baby, to the day I die. Good luck this weekend, Cowboys.
Thank you, sir.
He didn't really mean that.
Yes, he did. He did.
He's being sarcastic.
He needs us to do something because they ain't going to him. So
before we get started, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe, especially watching on YouTube. You can catch us on, I keep saying Twitter, but I realize I got to say X now. Just play a game.
No, just keep saying Twitter. Forget that X mess.
Right.
Instagram at the official delay of game. I'm your co-host Marcus. Join me on the panel tonight. Does Herman say what up, Herman? I said say what up. I didn't say show stars and stuff. See, this is why we can't get along as a people. Next up, we got Brian. Say what up, Brian.
Okay, here we go.
What was that? When we start with that?
Herman knows and Mark knows. I guess you didn't watch the game.
I did. Next up, we got Mark. Say what up, Mark.
Good evening.
So week 4 is in the books. We had some good games. We had some blowouts. We had some close games we didn't expect to have. Hosting the show tonight is Brian. Go ahead and lead us off, Brian.
Hey, thank you, Marcus, and thank again everybody for joining us. We're going to start the show off as we always do with our news of the week. So we're going to send it right back to
Chicago Bears wide receiver Chase Claypool's absence from the team will continue in week 5. Matt Eberflus on Monday announced Claypool will remain away from the team this week as they prepare to face Washington on Thursday night. The Bears head coach also offered some clarity behind his decision to have Claypool inactive for this past Sunday's game. To correct the record for Chase Claypool, we did tell him not to be here for the weekend, including the game. We told him he'd be inactive on Saturday. Eberflus told reporters. This morning, we informed him that he's not going to be here this week for the game as well, and we just feel like that's the best for the team at this time. Again, General Manager Ryan Poles and I have informed him of that, and that's where it is. So we feel like that's best for the team right now. I wonder what he did.
I wonder why you can't pronounce that coach's name.
Eberflus.
But I don't pay attention to the I didn't even heard this dude before. I don't pay attention to the Bears.
He's been the coach the last 2 years.
He's not my team. I don't care who that coach is.
Oh my goodness!
You got like they've been winning games. I got a reason to know who that coach is.
You need to know because you need to be able to read his name when you use an article about him.
He's a nobody.
Well, then why did you read that? Why did you use that as your story?
I thought I didn't even know Claypool was out this past. I just thought it was
Oh, Eric, can you please read a story legitimately for me?
Yeah. Colts All-Pro running back Jonathan Taylor, who is eligible to come off the PUP list, will return to practice with the team on Wednesday and could possibly play Sunday with the Titans. Things between Taylor and team owner Jim Irsay have been contentious to say the least. So this is something you might want to keep your eye on.
So any of y'all got him on your fantasy squad?
I don't think I have.
Why would anybody have?
He's gonna play.
It makes sense to put him on the bench. Yeah.
I'm sure in the keeper league somebody has him.
I forgot Marcus ain't playing this year. I'm sorry, Marcus.
Yeah.
All right, the next story is on me. Veteran pass rusher Randy Gregory was released from the Denver Broncos on Wednesday. A former second-round pick of the Cowboys, Gregory's first 2 seasons were up and down and injury-filled. He got it together, netting 15 and a half sacks in his final 3 seasons in Dallas. He nearly re-signed with the Cowboys in 2022, but a contract hang-up led him to choose Denver. Gregory signed a 5-year, $70 million contract with the Broncos in March of 2022. He played in just 6 games, and with the Broncos last season due to injury and a one-game suspension for a post-match fight. In 4 games in 2023, Gregory has generated 1 sack and 9 tackles. Over 10 tilts into Denver, the 30-year-old netted just 3 sacks and 21 tackles.
Excuse my ignorance, but what is tilts?
Games.
Why we didn't say games? When we started calling games tilts?
Sorry, Marcus.
I've never heard that. I never heard that before. Tilts.
You never heard the word tilt?
No.
Oh, my God. And you're how old?
I'm older than you.
Yeah, a lot older than me.
Whatever.
Mark, let's keep this show going. Please read your story.
NFL announces first flex schedule change of 2023 season. When the teams return to business in week 6, they'll be doing it so in a game that the NFL is flexing into one of the prestigious national televised windows. The team they will be facing has been trending upward since last year. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Detroit Lions game will be moved to 4:25 p.m. Eastern window for week 6. So the flexing has begun.
Yeah.
Do we know who's supposed to be in that position?
Back up.
Do we know who was supposed to be in that game? Or it doesn't?
No, they just added.
Nah, they just left it open.
Oh, it was just open.
Yeah.
It was just open.
Yeah.
Well, they announced the games of the week like as they go through the season. They don't announce that early on. So yeah.
But this week it was listed for the first week to start it. So they listed, the afternoon games is to be announced or up, for them to change it. So it started.
Yeah, just real quick, Randy Gregory, he probably will not be coming back to Dallas.
They don't need him.
No, I mean, it would be nice to have you can never really have too many pass rushers, but
What are you drinking
Right now,
Mason
You got
Jones?
a lot of pass rush.
right now I think to be honest with you, what I'm thinking about, I'm thinking he may go back to the Patriots with them losing Judon. Not going back to the Patriots, but going to the Patriots after they lost Judon because they're going to need some pass rush help.
I don't know. Teams might be a little scared to mess around with him.
I mean, his salary is going to pretty much has been paid by Denver, so
True.
it's just pretty much, it's just, yeah. All right, so we're going to get into these hot topics real quick. The first hot topic has to do with the Patriots. On Sunday, New England Patriots head coach Bill Belichick suffered the worst loss of his 20-year head coaching career to the Dallas Cowboys, losing 38-3. Since Tom Brady left the Patriots in 2020, Belichick and the Patriots have gone 26-28, only making the playoffs once as a wild card, losing that game in a blowout to the Bills. Is it time for Belichick? Is it time Belichick gave it up and retired before he tarnishes his legacy? Has Belichick not been able to adjust to the new ways and styles of coaching that his much younger contemporaries like Shanahan, McVay, and McDaniels have brought to the NFL? And whoever wrote this thing, I'm going to need for y'all to learn how to spell Belichick. We ain't going to talk about that right now. But we all know who wrote it. And I'm glad I read it because they would have probably said Belchin or something. Because he's not popular either. But let's get back to the hot topic.
You know who it was.
Huh? Yeah, I know who it was. But let's start the hot
Let's keep
topic.
it moving.
We are. Mr. Parker. Do you think that Belichick is done?
I don't quite think he's quite done yet. I think he needs 30 wins to catch up with Dom Shula. for the all-time?
No.
Yes, he
I think it was like
did.
18. I thought it was like 18.
No, it's
He was
30.
in the high. Yes,
Okay.
because when I heard the number, I was a little surprised at how many he
It's
needed.
30. Yeah.
Okay.
I think they want him to achieve that and get it. I mean, he does not have the talent in New England right now. They don't have the talent. They haven't drafted well the last couple of years, and it's showing it. Not just not having Brady there, but his talent that he's got to replace Brady and other key players are terrible right now. Not to mention their two stars on defense, the cornerback and Judon, are both hurt right now. So he's hurting. Not only they don't have the talent level right now, but the injuries bugs are biting them bad too, and the star players. But do I really think that? I think they'll come to. I think him and Kraft will come to a mutual agreement about him coaching the future if things still goes, terrible for him. Let's say if he doesn't make the playoffs, I think that discussion will be had. But I don't think quite yet his season, his coaching in the New England is quite up yet. It's getting close. He's knocking on the door, but I think they really want him to get that Don Shula record and put it under the notch before they really talk about taking him out. But I also think too, if he wasn't to step down from coaching, he'll still be with this organization in some type of form as an assistant or somebody, in the upstairs or so to help this team out. But like I said before, their drafting the last couple of years has not been well, and it's showing right now. So
Mark, now he's the one that does. He's in charge of that too.
well,
He's picking this talent that you're talking that he doesn't have.
That's true, but he is not a good choice. He's not picked the right people yet.
Herman, you think he still got it?
This is a little tough one, and I'm looking up, but I'm seeing different numbers too. I saw one that said he was 29 behind Shula, and another one that said he was 17.
30 will give him the record.
Decipher that, but yeah, I think they did say I did hear them say 30 on the NFL. He don't have a quarterback. Nobody can win without a quarterback. I mean, I don't care who you are in the NFL. You don't win without a quarterback, and everybody can say, well, he's overrated because he had Tom Brady, blah, blah, blah. But everybody in the NFL will tell you that, Belichick's is a defensive, supposed to be a defensive genius. And we saw it. It wasn't Tom Brady out there taking away the stars from other teams who had just as much firepower on offense when they went up against the Patriots, but they lost because their players couldn't get nothing done because Bill Belichick figured out a way to take them out of the game. So I think he's not going to do it with this talent level that he has on that team right now. I don't know if maybe he should take a step back for a year or two, wait for a better situation to come open possibly, and then move to that. But I'm not going to say he doesn't have it anymore because I think when you're a coaching genius, as much as the game changes, I mean, you got to think about it too. He's been in the game. And think about how much has changed over the years. I mean, he was back with the Parcells, the Giants, the Phil Simms and all them types of quarterbacks. So he's been in the game as it's changed, and he has progressed as it's changed, and he has been successful as it's changed. So I'm going to say, no, I don't think that it's time for him to hang up, and I think he still does have what it takes, but he just doesn't have talent, and without talent in the NFL, I don't care how good of a coach you are, you're not going to win.
Yeah, I don't think it's time for him to hang it up necessarily as a coach. I do think it's time for him to hang it up as a general manager.
You can take that title away from him.
Yeah, I do think that part needs to go to somebody else. I think he can pump up the talent that is given to him. I don't think that he necessarily needs to pick it because I don't think he's done a good job. Herman's right. He doesn't have a quarterback, but he doesn't have a quarterback because he drafted that quarterback. He chose this quarterback to try to lead his team after Tom Brady. He chose Cam Newton to try to lead his team after Tom Brady. So these are choices that he's made, and he still doesn't have a quarterback. he's always had a solid defense. You can never say that. And like Herman and Mark always brought up, he always finds a way to take away the best player on someone else's offense and make you basically play left-handed. So he definitely has the knowledge and the skill. He just is not good at, I guess, picking quarterbacks. He kind of lucked up on Brady. I mean, Brady was a 6th-round pick. Nobody expected much of him. And if you look back in his past history, he didn't have good quarterbacks when he was with the Browns. I mean, did he have Testaverde back then? I can't remember, but they were an average team then. He wasn't that talented. So him and Tom were a special thing that happened. And you can go and say, yeah, it was all time, but it wasn't really all time. If you think about them first couple Super Bowls, it was defensively led. Brady just kind of managed the thing, and then it kind of switched over time. But he's still a great coach. He's still a feared coach and respected coach in the NFL. If he quit the Patriots today, he would not be unemployed for 24 hours. I guarantee you. You. Someone else would take him on right now. So general manager hat, you might want to give that to somebody else. And Herman, the other thing you said about him being a genius, he is a little too much of a genius, especially with his antics last year, thinking that he could let a defensive coordinator be an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, that's
stupid. So that part too was a little bit, but overall, I don't think he's any dumber or not as talented as these younger coaches. And if you think about it too, you remember that last Super Bowl they won against McVay. Tom Brady wasn't great in that game. That was more of a defensive game, and that was his stamp right there. So I don't think he should be. I don't think he's going out the pasture anytime as a head coach, but he might want to let somebody else get the talent. Marcus.
So you touched on a couple of my points, Brian, and I 100% agree with you. Maybe he doesn't need to hang up coaching, but he definitely needs to get rid of the general manager title. He's not good at it. He sucks at it. And even some of his coaching decisions are suspect. So as far as general manager stuff, and I guess his coaching too, that's one of the reasons Tom Brady left is he had no offensive weapons. Did DeAndre Hopkins, did he meet with the Patriots during the offseason?
He was in that conversation, but
if not, he should have. Last season, why didn't New England? Why weren't they in the trade talks for Devontae Adams? See, it's stuff like that. You should have talked to Hopkins. You should have been in the trade talks for Devontae Adams. And as far as coaching goes, this is mainly a coaching decision, maybe not really a general manager decision. Start bringing some new offensive-minded people in there. It's like you touched on it, but like last season, you had a defensive coordinator as offensive coordinator. That made no sense. And this season, you bring back Bill O'Brien. Now, I'm not a big fan of Bill.
We all know that one.
But why weren't you in the talks for Eric Bieniemy? You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he would. I'm sure Eric Bieniemy would have gladly that job over the Commander's job. You should have been in talks for that.
That's true too.
You know what I'm saying?
Point right there.
I think that's because he's a bad offensive coordinator.
Whatever. He can't be worse than Bill O'Brien.
Okay. We'll see. I mean, his quarterback's been sacked the most in the NFL so far. So
we've still been putting up points. So we're not talking about the Commanders. He's still been putting up points.
Well, we kind of are because he's
the talking about the Commanders.
Okay.
Don't make me knock you out this room. Okay. So and as far as I forget when you said it would be a mutual decision between Kraft and Belichick. I don't think that would be a mutual decision.
Yeah, that's you're right about that. Go ahead.
I don't think that would be a mutual decision. No, I think if Kraft really wasn't gone, he'd be gone. Now I do agree with Brian that he wouldn't be out of a job too much longer. But they better bring him in just as a coach, not a general manager, and tell him and have some. I know a coach should have domain over that, but start to you need to get some of these younger offensive-minded coordinators in here, and get some of this new this new way of running offensive and this and this and that. And Brian is right. He drafts. He doesn't draft good at all. So I say no as a coach, but he definitely should hang up the general manager hat. And if he got 30 wins to get to pass Shula, he might be here for a long, long time trying to get that record because it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all.
Mark, they did ask Kraft about that at a event, And he was basically like saying, like, no, like he needs to win. You know, we're not going to just keep him around until they're not really pressed to get that record for Bill. In other words, you know, Bill needs to be there. Bill needs to do his job, or Bill may not be a Patriots head coach for long.
When did he say that? He said that?
This was in the summertime at some event they had. Yeah.
Because
we'll know when that contract comes up.
Mm-hmm.
We'll know.
I mean, it's hard to go from being the most dominant team in the league for 20 years to you suck.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's hard to get that quarterback. They're never top of the draft.
It is, and everybody's jumping on them so bad about it, and I get it, but I mean, this is really his like first foray or second foray really in getting a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he had Brady forever. He didn't really have to worry about that position. And in his defense, well, I mean, Garoppolo was good for a little while. The backup at Washington, he played for the Patriots, so he just let the good ones go.
Yeah, never really kept them. Probably because of Brady.
Yeah, because of Brady.
Let's not forget. I mean, I said earlier that one of the reasons Brady wanted to leave because no offensive weapons, but also Belichick forced him out. You know, that could have been one more Super Bowl. Instead of getting Tampa Bay that Super Bowl, you could have got yourself one more Super Bowl and solidify. I mean, not that you really need to solidify the dynasty even more, but you know, it doesn't hurt to add one more Super Bowl ring or trophy to the dynasty. But that was one more he gave up because he wanted Brady gone just as much as Brady wanted to be out there.
Yeah, but you know that was the Patriot way. You know, you get rid of players a year or two, you know, before you think they're done. And I guess Brady was a part. That's the other thing too. I keep thinking about too is that Patriot way. You know, that makes it. You know, with Brady there, he kind of was there to you know help the new players get adjusted or whatever. You know, but there's really nobody there to teach that Patriot way on that team.
Yeah,
and the Patriot way hasn't worked anyplace else.
Yeah,
hasn't worked any place else at all.
Yeah. I don't know about Cam was better than Mac Jones as a Patriot. I don't know about that.
Well, let me say when Cam was given the job, we all thought that Cam was going to do pretty well there, though.
We did, but but after seeing him play, he wasn't much better than Mac Jones either. The only thing he could do was kind of run in a couple touchdowns.
Yeah.
All right, that was a good hot topic. Go ahead. Whoever thought of that, good job. Just learn how to spell Belichick.
I don't need to learn how to spell Belichick. He knew real well.
All right, so we're going to go into the games, or we're going to do this other hot topic?
We can go into games.
Okay.
Go to the game.
You see what's on the bottom.
I just want to make sure. All right, so we're going to start discussing the games of last week. Some of us did well. Some of us did not. We will go into them and have a discussion. First game we're going to talk about is the Thursday night game. It was the Lions against the Packers. After the first drive interception, the Lions offense went off, putting up 401 yards of offense on 73 plays. They ran 211 yards and held time of possession for 37 minutes and 58 seconds to 22 minutes and 1 second. The defense also caused 2 interceptions and got 5 sacks. Marcus, who did you pick in this game?
I go last, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you. I was reading. Hey, that's an ugly hat. Ugly. Take that off.
No.
Let's go through this real quick. We all picked it wrong. Marcus.
I mean,
I'll go first, man. I was very disappointed in the Packers' performance. I couldn't believe how good the Lions' defense was. And then I was actually a little nervous because I have the Lions quarterback on my fantasy squad. I was like, dang, he's throwing this ball. I probably should have had him start. But I still won my game. So I picked this one wrong. Herman, who did you pick?
Yeah, I picked the Packers this one too. Packers O-line was really, I mean, they had a couple people out. They had no run game. And, you know, your quarterback is a run game. Even though Love's been in the league for a while, he's still a young quarterback. No run game. And then they had to abandon the run, you know, basically in the second half because they were down by so much. So I picked the Packers. I got it wrong. You're not going to win a game rushing 27 yards. It's not gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. Mark.
Yeah, I took the Packers also. The Lions were very physical in this game, man. That you touched on.
Yeah.
That, he rushed for over 200 yards. That's physical. They were physical. But it's funny, after go through that interception, I'm like, here we go again. The same old lines. But they put it together. They answered the call, diversity. I was not thinking the Packers was going to get that dominated in this game. I was surprised about it. But for the Green Bay Packers, they're not set up to throw 35, 40 times a game with Jordan Love. That's not going to happen. They need to find an identity fast. But I took the Packers, and I was wrong too.
And their running back had came back in this game, but he wasn't really much of a factor.
He wasn't.
Jones.
Yeah, because that O-line wasn't there.
Yeah, he wasn't much of a factor at all. And normally he's good on screens and making positive plays, but it just didn't happen that night. All right, on to the next game.
I picked right. The rest of y'all was dummies. I believe in the Detroit Lions. I believe in the Detroit Lions this year.
I'm gonna bite your kneecap.
I wasn't surprised at all they beat the Packers. I knew they would. I did get scared after that first interception, but I knew Jared Goff would come back and they get it right. And speaking of OCs that Bill Belichick should be hiring, he should be going heavy after Detroit Lions OC at the end of the season and get rid of Bill O'Brien. But
You can't go after another OC.
You can't
do that. No.
They do it all the time.
No, a team does not have to let you hire their OC to be your OC. Not a lateral. Don't have to leave you interview for a lateral change.
You know they got back channel. They probably be talking underneath the table. You know.
Why would Detroit get rid of their OC if he's doing this good? Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
That's what he should be targeting.
No, they have to go up. They have to give them the head coaching job.
Don't worry, Josh McDaniels will be back in New England.
You know
what? You're right. You're 100% right.
Hey Herman, I'm just glad that he grew that beard back because he'd have looked like a little kindergartner with that hat.
Like he was graduating
kindergarten or something.
It ain't even fully grown back yet.
It looks a hell of a lot better, sir.
It's much darker.
Don't be a hater all your life.
That's the Marcus I know and love.
Can we move on, please?
Yes, we can. All right, the next game. As a matter of fact, this is the game that you want to talk about, ain't it, Marcus?
What game is that?
This is the Commanders at the Eagles.
I don't want to talk about this garbage. I picked the.
Wait.
Eagles, actually.
Take your time, sir. Hold on.
I picked the Eagles. Let's move on.
Okay. We review every game.
I picked the Eagles.
Relax.
All right. Washington had the winning formula on offense, racking up 365 offensive yards on 74 plays with 107 on the ground. They held time of possession 35 minutes and 7 seconds to 30 minutes and 55 seconds, and neither team committed a turnover. But the defense let the Eagles throw for 311 yards, and the Eagles sacked Heineke. 5 times.
You know the dude's name.
Herman, who'd you have in this game?
I picked the Eagles to beat the WTF team. I will say this: the WTF team was robbed. That catch was inbounds. And yes. I hate the WTF team, but they were definitely robbed on that and there was another. I think there was another call too, but I can't remember because I didn't see all that game. But Washington always plays the Eagles hard and really should be beating the Eagles if they knew how to finish a game. Protect your quarterback, man. You can't let Heineke get. Heineke 5 times. You just can't let that happen. You had good run game going. I think Heineke threw a couple times too many. I'm sorry, man. My bad. But I did pick the Eagles and I got it wrong. I got it right.
Yeah, I was with you, Herman. I picked the Eagles as well, and I was really impressed with that Washington team. I thought they actually had the formula to stay going toe to toe with the Eagles. And you're right. On that catch, you could obviously see that his foot was still in bounds. And it actually looked like it was more on the dude's arm more than it was out of bounds. So they got robbed on that, but they should not let him come back to that. I don't know how y'all let Jalen Hurts throw for 300 yards. I was a little disappointed in that point of it all, but overall, it was a good game. Huh?
He's a top 5 quarterback in the league. That's how we know.
Not passing. Not passing.
Doesn't matter.
Not passing. Not passing. Okay. But it was a good game. The Eagles won. I picked the Eagles. Marcus, who did you pick?
I picked he said Marcus. You say Marcus or Mark?
Marcus.
I said Marcus.
Okay. I picked the Eagles. I'll admit I was kind of proud that they hung in there and they were there, but you know, I feel like they got robbed the penalty. But I'm going to say, and like I'm going to say about the topic we're going to discuss later on, you shouldn't leave at the penalties to decide whether or not you're going to win a game. You shouldn't put it in the penalties' fate. So you know they did a good job, but
that wasn't a penalty, though.
Well, not a penalty, but okay, a blown call or whatever, whatever it is, a blown call. You shouldn't leave.
The refs got to get that. The refs got to get that right.
I mean, yeah, but still, you shouldn't leave it in anybody's hands but your own. And despite Howell getting sacked all these times, I'm still proud of the offense, but the defense is really blowing me. I mean, defense has really let me down. So, I was justified in picking the Eagles. Things might change when we play them again the second time. I might pick the Commanders, but
Eagles beat us. Tell your cornerback to keep his head up, stop crying on the sideline.
Who's doing it?
That cornerback who's crying on the sidelines.
That was that rookie that y'all just drafted, wasn't it?
Forbes. I'm not gonna dog the brother, but I didn't want Forbes. No, I think he's too small. I mean, everybody, and look, and this is the reason why I complain. And people's like, "Oh, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter." Look how big AJ Brown is compared to that dude. Who gonna win? AJ Brown a little small ass. That dude.
You gotta give help. I mean,
you can't put him on AJ Brown by himself. I don't care what corner you got.
He don't need to be if you can't put him on AJ Brown by himself, he don't need to be a first round pick. He need to be 4th, 5th, or 6th.
There ain't that many corners out there, Marcus, that can take AJ Brown by himself. You can probably count him on one hand.
He's too small. I don't care. He's too small.
Okay. Mark, who did you have?
Hey, I took the Eagles too. Just like you all said. How is it his arm is in bounds and the player land his foot on his arm, but his foot still rolls out of bounds? I didn't understand that call either. I thought that should have been a completion. But the Eagles go 4-0 for the second consecutive season. They've done that. AJ Brown, you put too many times he was 1-on-1 with a rookie cornerback. What
small rookie cornerback?
Good luck with that one. Okay.
Yeah, that's bad defense.
That dude is going to compete every single time. And I guess last week he complained about not getting passes. Yeah, I guess his complaints
were heard.
Yeah, but I took the Eagles too.
I mean, what Forbes going to do against some? I don't know if we play him this year, but what Forbes going to do against somebody like?
They left him out there. They left him out there too many times.
Metcalf. What are he going to do against somebody like Metcalf? It's like me playing a little child, a little 3-year-old on the field. Yeah. Come on.
They left him out there too.
Or just like you playing a grown man.
You know what, Holly?
I love you.
I'm a slut. You know what?
I love you.
I don't deserve all this hostility.
I love you,
man. Family show. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, let's get on to this real game. We're gonna start on this game. Now, this game we're gonna sit for a little while, so just get comfortable.
This wasn't no
get comfortable. Get comfortable.
This wasn't no real game.
253 yards of offense is all the Patriots could muster against the Dallas defense. They threw 2 picks, including a pick 6, and lost a fumble for a scoop and score. 93,719 Cowboys fans watched the offense put up 377 yards 22. I don't know what
so you're trying to be fancy.
Yeah. 377 yards on 22 offensive plays. This was the worst beating that Belichick-led team was in history.
We already said that. Well,
I'm saying it again because I wrote it down. So this was a great game. This was the best game. It was
not a great game.
It was a great game.
It was not a great game.
Herman, was this a great game?
How is it a great game? 38-3 blowout is not a great game.
I think, Mark, who did you pick in this game? Where's the haters at?
I took the Patriots in this one.
And how do you feel about that pick, Mark?
It's year 3 of Mac Jones' career, and he seemed to be getting worse. Belichick said he's still the starter. After they give him his worst career loss, there's no way I'll be starting that dude again. There's nothing positive to say about this team right now. I'll be benching him. But I took the Patriots, man.
Who you picked him? You picked? You
I
said
took the Patriots.
I said you said benched him. I thought you mean you had him on your
Oh,
fantasy.
yeah, Jones. Oh, yeah.
You have him on your fantasy team?
No, I do not. No.
Oh.
He means if he was the head coach, he would bench him for Zappy.
Yeah, I bet.
But here's the thing, and this is what I'll say about Matt Jones. He lost a year last year, if I'm concerned. They set him back when he gave him Matt, whatever his name was, as his offensive coordinator. That set him back a year. He didn't advance at all.
You got a point there. I'll give you that, Marcus. You got
Yeah, but your basic quarterback knows not to throw across your body to the other side of the field, and you definitely don't do it twice.
And then look, he's got the most fumbles since 2019 as a quarterback.
Oh no, you sure that ain't the other Jones and the Giants Jones?
He is terrible with fumbling the ball.
Yeah, and he had no sense of he had no feel for the game. He had no idea that defensive lineman was coming from behind him. Marcus, who did you have?
I picked the Patriots. It was the dumbest mistake. It's the dumbest pick ever.
You talk about we dummies.
Breaking down my damn weekly record. I mean,
because you hate.
I mean, they garbage. Okay, what can I say? That's all.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I picked the Cowboys, but I was a little nervous. I did not anticipate this. I felt Belichick defensively would have kind of slowed us down a little bit, and I wasn't sure, from last week if our defense would bounce back like they did, but they played phenomenal. Bland got his mojo back with the 2 picks, one for a touchdown, and the defensive line was just all over the place. I think that Jones was seeing ghosts in that game as well, which is probably why they took him out. The Zeke phenomenon never really aberration never really started. They never got a chance to get him really going. Even with Stevenson, the running game just never really flourished against the Cowboys defense. It was just a great win, overall victory for the Cowboys, team victory, and we look forward to doing the same thing to the Niners this week.
Please.
He kicked himself out? Herman, who'd you pick?
We know who he picked.
We don't know who he picked.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't nervous going into this game. I think the Cardinals game for the Cowboys defense was a wake up. I think they was reading their headlines. They were smelling themselves a little bit, and they got humbled, and they wasn't going to let that happen again. Now, I was a little concerned with the offense because, like Brian said, Belichick, he possibly could slow down the offense, and with the red zone issues the offense has been having, that showed that gave me a little concern, but I wasn't that concerned. Dallas is playing team football right now. They have running back by committee. Dak is spreading the ball around. I think he had like maybe 8 different receivers caught the ball. The only if you want to give a knock on the Cowboys, the only knock you can give them right now is that the red zone, efficiency, it needs to get better with scoring touchdowns. But again, they're playing a team game right now, and the defense is doing what they need to do so that the offense doesn't have to press. If they get in the red zone, they're fine with taking a field goal because we know that the defense is there. And you can't rely on the defense is going to be there every game, but you're going to judge that on a game-by-game basis. If you see that your defense is balling out, you don't have to press in the red zone. You just don't. You know what I'm saying? So
if defense gives you 2 scores, you're doing pretty good. You can kind of chill on offense.
Yeah, and if you see that your defense isn't playing that well, then you will change things up. You want to be better in the red zone, of course, but it's not going to happen all the time. But I did pick the Cowboys, and I got that right. I don't want to hear all this crap about Cowboys because who they played either. Because
ain't nobody played nobody.
Right, because everybody's calling.
Eagles ain't played nobody, and neither have the Niners.
And the Niners ain't played nobody either. But it's only when the Cowboys play somebody they become sorry. So it's whatever. Don't want to hear it. I picked the Cowboys. I got that right. Bam!
Tucci.
Here we go.
So let's talk about the Cowboys and the Patriots game again.
Okay. Talking about Dan Cowboys. Come on.
So All right, I guess we'll talk about the next game, which was actually a pretty good game. The Dolphins at the Bills.
That one pretty good.
This game was an offensive explosion as the Bills put up 414 yards of offense and the Dolphins put up 393 yards. The Bills defense came up with some timely turnovers, getting a pick and a fumble recovery. Miami also shot themselves in the foot with too many penalties. They had 8 penalties for 98 yards. In this particular game, I picked the Bills. It was good at first. It was 7-7, and then going back and forth. And then, what's wrong, Mark?
Who did you take, Marcus?
I picked the Dolphins.
I did too. So you didn't win the cap.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Shut up, Mark.
Go ahead.
So I picked the Bills in this game, and it was just awesome. But when Diggs got that touchdown on the sideline where the DB was hanging on him and the other DB got around him and he got away, and the Bills went up by 2, that's when I thought that this game had turned, and it turned in the favor of Buffalo. Buffalo played well. Y'all, we talked bad about the quarterback for Buffalo, the beginning of the season, but he actually has been playing very, very good football the last couple of weeks. So we got to give him back his credit. What were we calling him, Marcus?
I ain't giving him
MVP candidate.
Was that what it is? Was that what we were saying?
Oh,
I forgot what we were saying.
So you can lead you can still be at the top of the league in interceptions and be the MVP candidate. Is that how that works?
I'm just saying he did. I don't think he's leading the league in interceptions, is he?
He's near the top. He's like, I think he has 4 and
yeah, I know. I think Heineke got like 6.
Daniel Jones has 6 too.
Yeah. All right, but I picked this one correct. So Herman, who did you have?
I had the Dolphins in one. I expect a whole lot more from them, and it started off like it was going to be this great offensive show, and then the offense didn't show for the rest of the game. So I picked the Dolphins, and I got this wrong.
Mark?
I took the Dolphins also in this one, man. The Bills found their footing. Josh Allen showed the Bills offense is just as much to be feared about as the Miami Dolphins. Bills, you talk about Josh playing well. The Bills offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey came up with a heck of a game plan. The Bills defense showed up big time. Josh Allen didn't turn the ball over.
Shocking.
He answered all the questions, for the Dolphins. The defensive line kept pressure on Tua all game long, but they got a 4th and 1 stop that really got to him, and the defense forced 2 turnovers, 4 quarterback sacks, 9 quarterback hits. So the defense was all over Tua in this game. But I took the Dolphins in this one and I lost it.
Marcus?
I took the Dolphins as well. I guess I fell under that spell of the offense last week. I put up 70 points on Denver, but they didn't put up 70 points on Buffalo. And I should have known, Buffalo. I think Tua is like 1-5 now. Going in, he was 1-4 against the Buffalo Bills, and it just they didn't like the Buffalo Bills from that Week 1 game against the Jets. They pretty much dominated and did what they wanted to on the team, and and we were calling Josh Allen trash early this season, but he is looking like MVP candidate Josh Allen.
So could that be because the Jets defense was really good? Is that why Josh looks so bad?
I mean, it could be
Possibility.
Because Dak looked great against the Jets.
Oh, yeah.
You walk right into that, Joey Marcus.
We need to have neutrality on this show. Okay.
Why? The other shows don't.
Yeah, they do.
You need to go back to your predictions for the beginning of the season.
What would they?
You got all this reality. Do we need to go back and look at your predictions for the season? Who's making the playoffs?
I said neutrality. Now
nutria. Okay.
Listen.
Well, that ain't no fun then.
Listen before you speak.
The only reason we do the show, well, you got to pronounce it first. You can't even say Belichick. So
I did say I can't spell it. I can say it.
Oh, okay. What about Eberflus? Can you say that?
No, I don't care. He won't be there long.
That is true. That is true. It's sad but true.
Man, you're terrible.
But yeah, I picked the Dolphins, and Bill still proved they run the AFC East for right now. So everybody can hold off on the Dolphins.
I don't
They
know.
all
I
who
say slow
thought they
your
were.
roll. I say slow your roll. We'll see. I'm not buying in the Bills yet. I'm not buying the Bills yet.
But you're buying the Dolphins?
I think I am.
The Bills are the reigning division
You just,
champions.
you just don't put 70 points up on an NFL team like that. It's just not that easy. I don't care how bad they are.
It's not that easy, but too, it's a concourse of teams. I mean, the team they played too was terrible. So
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely, 100%.
they let Chicago put up what 25, 28 on them too. So
We're gonna see, because when the time comes when you need a run game and the Bills don't have that
That is true.
but they have been running the ball pretty well.
right now.
And they always got Josh Allen. I mean, Miami's is in the heat. What happens when it gets cold?
They got run
You're
game.
not as fast in the cold.
They have a run game.
You know,
They got two running backs.
as much as Herman is hating, I think he's confused. You know, the Bills are in the AFC East, not the NFC East. You know that.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just saying.
You still gonna have a run game.
You ain't got to hate on them like that. They're not in the same.
I'm not hating on them. I'm just being real. I'm just being objective.
All right, next game we're going to talk about is the Kansas City Chiefs at the Jets. I guess we can call this the Taylor Swift game.
Oh, God.
Yeah. What was supposed to be a blowout was a little bit of a barn burner as the Jets found an offense, putting up 336 yards on 57 plays. Mahomes was not himself, throwing 2 picks in this game, but on a 3rd and 8, he put on his cape and scampered for 9 yards and stopped short of the goal line to get a first down and ensure a Chiefs victory. Marcus, who did you have in this game?
I picked the Chiefs. I think last week, like you said, we all thought it was gonna be a blowout. It was anything but a blowout. The Chiefs should have been worried there for a while. The Jets were actually looking pretty good. You know, all that talk about Zach Wilson, this and blah 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 blah. I still think it stands. He is garbage. He just happened to have a good game. You can't just disregard the last 2 years over one good game. I don't know, maybe because Aaron Rodgers was in the house and gave him some inspiration. Aaron Rodgers gave him
Herman disappeared.
and then he put himself on mute at first. But yeah, I mean, it was a lot closer than I thought it should have been. But the Chiefs are a championship team, and you got to win every game differently, and they won this game differently. And this was the lowest amount of passing yards that Mahomes has had in his career.
Really?
Yep, the lowest amount.
I wonder why, Brian. Why you think that is?
Oh my! I don't know.
That Jets defense is pretty good, Herman.
I think the Jets defense is actually pretty good too.
Yeah, it's almost like Super Bowl contending type of defense.
Yeah, top 3.
Mark, does that defense remind you of like the Baltimore Ravens or something, like back in 2000?
No, not at all.
They're pretty good.
Okay.
Who'd you have in this game, Mark?
I took the Chiefs in this one, man. The Jets came from 17 down in this game. They tied the game up. They lost the game, but it came out with feeling pretty good about themselves in this one. I think having Aaron Rodgers in the building was helpful for them. I think, I felt like the Chiefs kind of took their foot off the gas in this game a bit, though. They could have ramped it up, and that's what keeps a lot of opponents that they're playing into the games because they let up. Now the question was it or was not?
No, we need to talk. Everybody needs to get a prediction first before we talk about that.
Okay, all right. We finished that up last. Okay, all right. Sauce Gardner was called for that holding. I don't think it was, to be honest with you, but I didn't. I don't know. I don't know, but I took the Chiefs in this one, and they were successful. They won it.
Herman.
Yeah, I mean, I totally disagree with what Mark said about the Chiefs taking their foot off the gas, because from my perspective, what I saw was a Jets defense that was stifling a championship quarterback.
I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you some questions. How are you up 17-0 and don't put the pedal to metal?
Defense.
Okay. All right.
So once again, you can cricket
Now
all
it's
you
sound
want.
effects work.
Yeah. Once again, what I saw was a top 3 defense shut down a Super Bowl MVP quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. Mark, it's called adjustments, in case you were wondering. But that's what it's called. When a defense gets down by 17 and then they only give up 6 points the rest of the game and
Hey,
shut
look,
you out in the third.
you playing a Zach Wilson Jets
My turn
team.
to talk. My turn to talk.
Okay,
Now.
you playing a Zach Wilson
So
Jets team.
when you see
And
a
almost
defense-
lost to him.
Right. When you see a defense, a championship caliber defense, shut down an MVP quarterback, you have to give that defense credit and say that that's a good defense. Okay. The Chiefs, they just couldn't get anything going. It wasn't no take your foot off the gas. They couldn't get that going. You tell me that they took their foot off the gas in the second, third, and fourth
They
quarter?
held up.
And they took their foot off the gas in the second, third, and fourth quarter. No, that's called defensive adjustments. So I did pick the
You're entitled to your
Chiefs.
opinion.
I did pick the Chiefs and I got this right. So that's good quarterbacks sometimes struggle against great defenses. And sometimes good quarterbacks light those defenses up.
When it comes crashing down, it's going to be so satisfying. It will come crashing down.
You sound like Stephen A. Smith all the time.
Doesn't
All the time. You're like a little Stephen A.
That's fine.
Right.
I wish I had. I just want a little bit of his money, and I'd be straight.
You got a lot of his attitude and knowledge of football. Yeah, in this game, I was with you guys. I picked the Chiefs as well. And, I mean, Mark, I'm kind of with Herman on this one. I mean, I would have kind of gave you the let up off the gas if it was in like late in the third quarter, the fourth quarter. But, they went up in the first half, and then you don't coast. No NFL team is coasting for 3 quarters
right.
against the Jets, So and even if the offense did take their foot off the gas, their defense certainly didn't. I mean, everybody else is. I mean, this was his last chance to be a Jets quarterback. He was going to get crushed if he didn't realize how to throw the ball. And all of a sudden, he was making these phenomenal NFL throws. Like, where did this come from? Well, it came from you because you were a number 1 draft pick. And you knew that you're on your last leg, so you decided to play and just say F it. Now, when you play F it games, sometimes it comes out good for you, which it did in this case. Not good enough for them to win because I didn't think they should have won this game, but they played good. So we'll see how they play next week. But I picked Kansas City, and I picked this one right.
Now, let's give a real quick whether or not that was holding that was called against Sauce Gardner on that interception. I'm going to give my opinion. I believe it was holding, and if it wasn't holding, at the least it was illegal contact because they were way beyond 5 yards, and no matter what route the receiver ran, he didn't run directly into the corner, and he did wrap his arms up around his shoulders, and he contacted him and held him for a split second. Maybe it should have been called holding. Maybe they should have called illegal contact. So I will, I say, in my opinion, it was a penalty. I've seen a whole lot less get called, and I've seen a whole lot more not get called. And there were a lot of other bad calls in this game. So everybody's saying, "Oh, the Chiefs, the refs are helping
The
Chiefs
last
out."
play
No,
was a
hell,
hold
it
on the
wasn't.
offensive line when Mahomes went for that run.
It was, but even on that call, though, it's funny to me because everybody's like, well, this isn't holding. Well, yeah, it's holding, but at the same time, it's hands to the face, too, because the defender was hitting the offensive lineman in the face. So, come on. If the horse collar was the other one that I was thinking about, though, that they called the Chiefs. That wasn't a hold. It wasn't a horse collar. So, it was just the whole game was terribly officiated, in my opinion. I think that was a hold or something should have been called on that play, in my opinion.
What do you think, Marcus?
I'm
sorry. Go ahead, Mark.
Go ahead.
Well, I do think it was a holding call, but it's like I said earlier. Don't leave it up to the refs to a penalty or non-call. Instead of just shutting Kansas City down the whole entire second half, maybe you shut them down the entire game. And then you won't have to worry about that. So, I mean, everybody gets bad calls or no calls. It happens. It happens on every game in the preseason, in the season, in the postseason. It happens. The solution to that is don't leave it in anyone else's hands but yours. Bad calls or bad non-calls are going to happen. That was a good call.
Yeah, I'm kind of on Herman's bandwagon to the point. I agree with him that it wasn't. I don't think it was holding. I think it was more. What'd you say, Herman? Not pass interference, but illegal contact.
Legal contact.
I think
Which is still automatic.
It still would have been an automatic first down. But the holding call doesn't that a spot foul where you move to where it happened?
No, that's a 5-yard.
Oh, it's still a 5-yarder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
So either way, then I guess I agree. Either way, if it was the same penalty, either way, I agree with you guys. It was a penalty. But like Marcus said, you shouldn't let it go. But Marcus, you can't say, "Hey, don't let them score the 17." They weren't trying to let them score the 17. But Kansas City is a good offense, and they was running the ball pretty well in that first half too. So you had to make adjustments, like Herman said, on defense to try to shut them down. But you come in with a game plan, and sometimes that game plan don't work, so you make adjustments.
Was there no videotape on the Chiefs before?
It is, but it's still you're coming in. The Chiefs don't run the same plays every time. They come up with new stuff too. They're looking at your defense and they're figuring out how they can fight your defense, and it's a chess match. But they did make the adjustments. They just didn't make the adjustments in a good enough time. And like Herman said, and you said, you don't leave it up to the officials. All right, Mark, I know you chomping at the bit.
It was a tough call. For my opinion, I don't think he impeded the wide receiver's path, to be honest with you. I thought that because of the angle that the referee was looking at it from is why he made that call. But to me, the wide receiver ran into Gardner. Gardner put his hand up there. I don't think he impeded his path, to be honest with you.
But when he ran into him, he wasn't looking at the ball, was he?
Who was?
No.
You talking about
Gardner wasn't looking at the ball when he ran into Gardner.
No, he wasn't. No.
Yeah, then that's on Gardner.
But the receiver, I don't think he impeded his path though.
He
I don't
did
think.
because the receiver.
But you said he ran into him.
The wide receiver ran into Gardner.
Right, so he impeded his path.
I don't think he did. But Robert Saleh blew his gasket on this joker too. He was going off.
Yeah, he did.
But I think what really made it, to me, impactful because the flag was so late. That flag, you see him, he did a little double take as far as throwing the flag. I think that's what really got everybody, a little teed off because it didn't happen immediately after the
I think
it took a while for him to throw that flag. It was a late.
You know what it
flag.
was? You know what it was though? I think because there was players in the area when he went to throw. Because you remember what happened when a player got hit in the face mask with a flag. Before.
Yeah, the Cleveland lineman.
It's in the rib.
Players
Yeah,
and then he kind of waited until they cleared and then he threw it. I think that's what it was. If you look at the angle of it. But again, there was bad officiating throughout that game.
True.
That's all.
All right, so we got one more game to go through, and then we need to get on to these picks because we are going long.
We ain't gotta talk about this next game. Huh?
Yeah, because while one New York
Escape from New York, the way that's what Daniel Jones was trying to do, escape from New York.
Yeah.
while one New York team found an offense, the other floundered in dysfunction for 4 quarters Monday night. Daniel Jones threw 2 picks, lost a fumble, and while the offensive line allowed 11 sacks. I don't know how that's a recipe for winning. Of course, I picked the Seahawks. I picked this one right. Mark, who did you have?
I took the Seahawks too. Seattle defense was like a pack of wild dogs.
Look, were they or was the offensive line just?
The offensive line was that bad. It was that bad. Who did you have, Herman?
Yeah, I had the Seahawks, man. I felt bad. I've never felt that bad for a quarterback in my life. I don't think. I felt bad for Daniel Jones.
He felt bad too.
Did you feel bad, Marcus?
I did. I picked the Seahawks, but I was like, take this dude out of the game. I mean, at some point, it's just too much. You had no way of coming back winning. Why keep taking those hits? It just felt ridiculous. Like, take this dude out of the game. But this is what happens when you pay the wrong person on your team. Should have paid Quan. Saquon Barkley and not James Jones.
That ain't true because nobody was paying running backs. You look like a fool.
Well, I'm just saying.
And so Saquon ain't even playing, so how that would have helped you?
He's injury prone at this point. He's injury prone.
Still,
You gave him all that money for him to sit on the bench.
you gave them all that money to get sacked 11 times.
Well, hey, I don't agree with paying either one of them if it made you feel better.
You know, they should put that. Who was that? Sam Donald. I think it was against New England. He's like, I'm seeing ghosts out there. They should have that sound effect in all the stadiums. They should play that every time they know that. I think I see ghosts. I think I see ghosts.
All right, how'd you guys do? I went 5-1.
3-3.
I went 4-2.
All right, not bad, not bad. Mark brings up the last of the bunch. All right, so let's get into these games real quick. We got a Thursday nighter right in our backyard. Well, except for Herman. The 0-4 Bears at the 2-2 Commanders. Commanders have a 6.5 point deficit, are giving up 6.5. The over-under in this game is 44 points. Herman, who do you think is going to win?
The Bears are just they're a Bear. I got the TF team.
Marcus?
I'm taking the Commanders, but the Commanders better be careful. This could be a trap game, and the Bears did look mighty good against Denver last week. So
For like
I'm
3
taking
quarters.
Yeah,
Mark.
I think y'all can lose.
Commanders.
Give me my music.
Really?
you disrespectful. No,
Give me my music.
I ain't giving you nothing. You are
Give me
disrespectful. No.
Give me my music.
I ain't giving you nothing.
Why?
Sound effects are broke. You
I think that every dog has his day.
As much as I hate the Cowboys, I would never
Listen,
pick the
but
Bears.
listen, I have logistics for this reason. The reason why I think that the Bears are going to win is because y'all had a very tough game against the Eagles last week. You're playing on a short week, and I think that now that the Chicago's quarterback kind of got not playing like a robot, I think they might sneak in and get this dub.
Even
So
the
can I
dog-
have my music now?
What was your sound effect right there? The dog. That was the sound effect. Ooh, that was disrespectful.
I'm getting my own sound effects from now on. I ain't using you no more.
You disrespectful.
All right. Next game is the 1-3 Jets at the 1-3 Broncos. The Broncos are giving up 2.5 in this game. The over-under is 43.5. Oh, I'm sorry. The predictor has a nod for the Jets in this one at 55%. Marcus, who do you like?
I'll admit, when it came down to pick this game, I couldn't decide. Both were sorry, so I flipped the coin and it landed on the Broncos. So,
In Russ, you trust. Herman.
I give you the Jets. There's no way, and there's no way the Broncos offense is going to do much against that Jets defense. They'll probably score a couple touchdowns alone.
Yeah, I'm with you, Herman. With that way that Jets defense has been playing all these teams, they played them all real tough except for the Cowboys. So
Yeah.
and the Broncos are terrible. So I'm going with the Jets, Jets. Mark.
Marcus, you need to get your music together because I'm taking the Jets Jets also.
Told you
I'm
it
not
could've
going
been
with the Russ, and we don't trust.
All right. Next game we're gonna go to.
And I
is
wasn't
a-
lying about flipping that coin. That's how don't blame me, blame the coin.
Well, look, just don't go to Vegas. All right, so we got the Panthers that are 0-4 at the Lions that are 3-1. The Lions are giving up 9 in this game. The over-under is 45 points. The predictor likes the Lions big at 77%. Mark, who you got?
I'm going to take the Lions in this one. I think they ride off that momentum of beating the Packers. I think they move on and win this game. Taking the Lions.
Herman?
I'm going with the Lions on this one. They're looking good. The Panthers, they're terrible.
Marcus?
Yeah, I'm also going with the Lions, but I will say this could be a trap game. If the Lions want to be who everybody thinks they are, who I think they are, they need to win this game. I'm going with the Lions.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm going with the Lions as well. And Marcus, you're right about that. You don't know how well the Lions can handle prosperity. They might be reading these clippings and slip up on this game. So, but I'm gonna put my money on the Lions. All right, we got a AFC North battle. The 3-1 Ravens at the 2-2 Steelers. The Ravens are giving up 3.5 in this game. The over/under is 38 points. The predictor is strong with the Ravens at 72%. With the question marks at quarterback and the way that the defense didn't show up last week, I got to go with the Ravens on this one. Marcus, who you got?
I got 2 words for you. Matt Canada. I'm taking the doggone Ravens.
That's a proper noun, Mark. Herman.
Yeah, Mark, I'm sorry, man. Your offensive coordinator is terrible, and
Garbage.
your starting quarterback might not even play. So give me the Ravens.
Mark, and Trubisky, you trust?
No, give me the Ravens.
You haven't picked your team now once this season.
I mean, he's
I
picking.
think you're right. All right, so this is the game of the week. The 3-1 Dallas Cowboys at the 4-0 49ers. The Niners are giving up 4 points in this game. The over-under is 45. The predictor is with the Whiners at 55%. Mark, who do you think is going to win this game?
This is finally a game that both teams, everybody keeps saying they ain't playing nobody. Well, they playing each other now. I'm taking the 49ers.
Mark,
He just went.
Marcus.
You already know I'm taking the 49ers. They're about to whoop that ass. 49ers.
We know who the haters are.
Yeah, it's obvious that y'all haven't been paying attention to the 3 weeks of that Dallas #1 defense. And that not only will the Cowboys win this game, they are going to show what kind of quarterback Purdy really is, which is a Mr. Irrelevant. Cowboys big. Herman?
No words need to be spoken.
That was easy. All right, last game we're going to go against are the 2-2 Packers at the 1-3 Raiders. The Packers are giving up 2 in this game, and the over-under is 44.5. The predictor has the Packers winning with 55%. Marcus, who you got?
And this one, I got 2 more words for you. Josh McDaniels. I'm taking the Packers.
Mark?
I'm riding with the Packers also. I don't think the Raiders will be victorious in this one. Packers.
Herman?
I'm never picking the Raiders again. I don't care if they play the Bears. I'm not picking the Raiders.
I wouldn't pick the Raiders if they played each other. The Raiders
Right. Give me the Packers all.
Yeah, I guess we're all in union in this one. We have no faith in Josh McDaniels or the way he coaches. I mean, you're about to get your star wide receiver killed last week, so give me the Packers. All right, fellas, not bad. Just a little bit over. But it was another good show. We got any final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, well, go ahead, Herman. What's your final thought?
Oh, I'm gonna think of mine after Mark goes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course we got final thought.
My final thought is this. Byron Leftwich, please help us out. Please.
Where is he?
I don't think he's with anybody right now.
He's home.
Home.
Yeah.
Home.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, my final thought is just, the Sunday night game is going to be electric. And when we win this game, I don't want to hear any of these excuses that you already are concocting. Just accept the fact that the Cowboys are good. Marcus?
And when y'all lose, I don't want to hear any excuses, blah, 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 except the fact that y'all lost. That's my final thought.
Was that the Commanders? We talking about the Commanders game or the Cowboys?
We talking about the game you just referred to.
We always accept the fact that we lose when we lose a game. I mean, we lost.
You can be excuses.
Whatever. What excuse did I make for the Arizona game?
Move on. We run out of time. Let's go.
All right, Herman. What's your final thought? Herman's giving his final thought. Leave him alone.
It's hard to tell who's Josh McDaniels or Matt Canady. Think about that.
You got to go with Matt Canady. I mean, at least McDaniels can say he has some Super Bowl rings.
He had Tom Brady when he got it.
As a head coach, he sucked. As an offensive
Yeah,
coordinator,
oh yeah. But Canada,
Nah.
I mean, you're going by their offenses, right? Because Canada's an offensive coordinator, so
Yeah.
you're basing it on their offense.
Josh McDaniels, I think, might be worse. He destroyed 2 playoff teams as a head coach. Because didn't he destroy the Broncos too?
No, he took them to the Super Bowl with, to the playoffs with Tebow, and they beat the Steelers. You got to give him credit for that.
Next year, what happened?
Yeah, he sucked.
There you go.
But he did do that. Canada ain't never did that. What Canada did?
That team was pretty much already built. That was almost like a John Gruden type deal when he did with Tampa. So Josh McDaniels is my vote for the worst coach ever.
So speaking on that, piggybacking that, Mike Tomlin. I know you in Pittsburgh, and they don't be getting rid of coaches, but you better get rid of Matt Canada, bro.
He better do something.
You better get rid of
He
Matt.
better do something.
Yeah,
He ain't lying.
that rule don't apply to assistants now. That rule don't apply to assistants. Just a head coach.
I'm talking about Mike Tomlin might be in trouble if he don't get rid of Canada.
Oh no.
Right. Man, they'll fire him and he'll be the scapegoat. Matt Kennedy will be the damn interim head coach.
Oh my God.
And
Oh my God.
that
No way.
Steelers
way.
logo is eating Mark again.
No way.
Somebody throw Mark a rope. All right, Marcus, get us out of here.
All right, before we leave, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. You can catch us on Facebook and our Facebook group, The Layup Game. We're also on Twitter/X at The Layup Game 3 and on Instagram at The Official The Layup Game. We will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace. We out.